Hello, Namaste fam. Welcome back to the channel. This morning, Wuthering Waves updated their official website with a little bit of information about the upcoming 3.0 patch Lahairoi. And among all that, they revealed a brand new combat mechanic called Off Tune, which is going to be introduced in the next patch. So in this video, I am going to explain everything about these mechanics, how it works, how it will affect our current characters, and how it may shape the future characters we will be getting. A quick disclaimer before we start. Everything I talk about in the first half is based on the official post shared by Kuro Games. But when I talk about future characters and how this mechanic may influence their kits, that part is pure speculation, so keep that in mind. If you end up finding the video helpful, please consider subscribing and liking the video. Alright, without any delay, let's begin. Off-tune mechanic. So after the 3.0 update, every single enemy in the game will have a circular gauge next to their HP bar. It looks pretty similar to our Concerto gauge, but this one represents the enemy's off-tune level. This gauge fills up as your characters attack the enemy. Once it fills completely, your next hit will trigger an off-tune blast, which deals damage and then resets the gauge back to 0. That's how it works for regular mobs, but for stronger enemies like 3 cost and 4 cost bosses, you will get access to a special skill called the Tune Break skill. This Tune Break skill will interrupt the boss's attack pattern, deplete their vibration strength, and of course deal damage. And that's pretty much everything we officially know about the off-tune mechanic right now. Will older characters benefit? One question a lot of people will have is, will older units be able to trigger this mechanic, or will it be exclusive to new characters like Negative Status? Based on how off-tune works, I am pretty confident older units will be able to use it. Why? Because in the images shared by Kuro, we can clearly see Yang Yang triggering the off-tune effect herself. So technically, this means all our older units just received a buff. The only thing left to see is how frequently they can trigger it compared to future characters. If I am right, there will probably be an ICD, internal cooldown, on off-tune, maybe something like 1 second, and newer characters might be able to bypass that ICD or apply more off-tune in the same time. Future character kit speculation. Now let's talk about how this new mechanic might be implemented in the kits of future characters and how their playstyle may revolve around Tune Break. First, damage boost on Tune Break. The most obvious direction is that new characters will receive a damage boost when they trigger Tune Break. A main DPS could have a passive like damage dealt is increased by few percent for few seconds after casting Tune Break. A main DPS like this would pair perfectly with a sub DPS who can trigger Tune Break frequently, even from off-field via coordinated attacks. That sub DPS might also have a passive like reduce enemies' elemental resistance after triggering Tune Break. If I had to predict a team example, let's say Linnea becomes an off-field sub DPS. She is a Spectro pistol user, and Kuro always releases sub DPS characters before the main DPS, so Linnea could have a coordinated attacks that trigger off-tune from off-field, and her outro could say, after casting outro skill, any off-tune triggered in the next few seconds reduce Spectro risk by few percent. This would have amazing synergy with nukers like Jinxie, since you could immediately cast Jinxie Forte right after the resistance shard. Second, off-tune is the main source of damage. Another path is to make Tune Break itself the main source of damage. This would create a sub DPS like Phoebe, someone who don't deal high raw damage but can apply and trigger off-tune extremely quickly. Their outro could be enemies take few percent increased Tune Break damage for the next few seconds. Then your main DPS could build or consume forte stacks depending on how many times Tune Break is triggered, similar to how Sani consumes Frazzle to fill her forte. The Liberation or forte skill could then count as a big Tune Break nuke. Third, a support who makes off-tune AoE. Since off-tune appears to be single target, a premium 5-star support could convert it into an AoE effect, increase its damage, spread tune break to nearby enemies. This would instantly make them one of the strongest supports. Fourth, a self-inflicted tune break user. Another fun idea I thought of while recording this is, what if a character can apply tune break to themselves as well as the enemy? They would take damage, of course, but their kit could say increased damage based on HP lost through self-inflicted tune break. This would basically give us 5-star dungeon everyone wants. So these were just a few examples of how this mechanic can be implemented into future character kits, ideas that I came up with using my 69 years of gacha experience and from analyzing all the previous character kits we have seen so far. Overall, this mechanic looks really solid on paper and could act as a huge buff for older characters too. The only big question is how well can older units utilize off-tune and how much better will newer units be at triggering it. But so far it looks promising. What do you think? Share your opinions in comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys in the next video.